Tuesday, October 30th, I woke up in Salisbury, Maryland, thinking how lucky we are that Sandy barely seemed to affect us. We had our share of downed trees and power lines, but it didn't seem like anything too major. But then I started thinking about how the storm track went right over New Jersey. Then I turned on the news and they're showing destructed areas on the Jersey Shore that are very close to my hometown of Seaside Park, New Jersey. My first thought was my parents, who both stayed on the barrier island, so I immediately tried calling them. Both of their phones were dead. Then I started calling my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, or anyone that I knew that would be in the area and could tell me firsthand how things were and if everyone was okay. But I couldn't get through to anybody because of the downed power lines, and the destruction seemed to be worse than I could have imagined. Finally, on Wednesday, I got a text from my mom saying that she was alright, but by that time I had seen hundreds of pictures of the destruction to our hometown, and I had to go home, not to mention I haven't even heard from my dad yet. When I got home, it seemed like a war zone. No one had power, gas lines were almost an hour long if you could even find a gas station that had gas, and of course, access to my town was blocked off, and they were only letting emergency vehicles through. I ended up staying at my Aunt Lene's house, which didn't have power, but her fireplace helped keep us warm. On Thursday, my mom finally got off the island safe. My father didn't leave for a few days later, but I've talked to him since and he's okay. Now that access to our town is very limited, which is unfortunate because we have so much work to do to our homes, and not to mention nowhere to live in the meantime. The destruction from this storm will live in infamy. The town that I grew up in and love is now rebuilding to get back to its full potential. It may be a while before we are able to live in our homes again, but thankfully I still have a home, and I have an amazing family that helps each other out when we are in need. This storm caused a lot of pain and grief to families up and down the East Coast, and now it's time to lend a helping hand and help restore my home, the New Jersey Shore.